Is the momentum factor dead? In the academic world, there's been shown a premium associated with momentum stocks. Stocks that are going up keep going up. This was first published in 1992 by Fama and French in their three-factor model. Interestingly enough, though, I found this chart, and I should preface this by saying, since all these momentum factor ETFs were launched maybe 5 to 10 years ago, none of them have done very well. But anyways, I found this chart here, not even chart, but just data, which shows the Fama French momentum factor over decades compared to the S&P 500, right? And we can see the performance of the French Fama factor here in the 60s, 15.27 versus the S&P's 7.81, and then going onwards. And in the 70s, there's the big difference. In the 80s, the difference starts to close a little bit, closes in the 90s, and then 2000s and 2010s. It has certainly declined. So what's happening? Is the momentum factor dead? Well, there's a few ways we could look at it. We could say either A, the momentum factor is being arbitraged away, and that means that so many investors know about it that they're actually utilizing the strategy. And now the strategy was, published in academia in the 90s, but most likely somebody in the private, institutional world had identified the factor earlier, maybe in the 70s or in the 80s, and they were using it for themselves, to actually gain, right? A lot of these very high-tech, high-level, cutting-edge type of strategies are discovered by someone in the private world way before they're discovered in the academic world. So, that could be what we're seeing here. So that way, once it was published in the 90s, more and more people, or even more people, got on board with it. And then they've simply arbitraged it away, like a lane that is empty. When you're coming up to a stoplight, the lane is empty, and you see that, so then you pull into that empty lane, but then other cars pull in, and then eventually that premium on time spent at the stoplight is arbitraged away. The other thing we could say is that, the significant trend of market cap weighting, and I know at this point there's more assets under management in passive market cap weighted index funds than there are active funds in the United States, that trend has really inflated market cap weighting to the point where, all the other factors just simply can't keep up, and then maybe that passive strategy or that passive investing trend is going to die, or the bubble is going to burst, and then that's going to give way to factors like momentum to outperform. So personally, I'm more of a market cap weighted investor than I am a momentum factor investor, but I do like to follow it. I do invest in some momentum asset class strategies, but on an individual stock basis, personally, I prefer market cap weighting over momentum. I think that it's going to continue. I think that the gap between the two is going to be narrower and narrower as time goes on. What do you think? Is momentum investing dead? Let me know in the comments below.